Welcome back. Well, really textbook stuff. The Nifty is now making a move back towards 8,500. So it will be interesting to see whether this time the Nifty is able to take that out, because last time it went to 8,500 and it had its 30-point slip. So it will be interesting to see. We now invite our corporates. Anant Bajaj, Joint MD of Bajaj Electricals, now joins us. Mr. Bajaj, good morning. What are the new products and launches that you have in store for the market over the next few months? And in terms of the kind of revenue and profit target, what kind of numbers would you like to give us?
Well, numbers is something we can't talk at this time. August 6th is anyway our AGM and board meeting for the first quarter. But as far as the market scenario is concerned, clearly it's a very mixed bag where the monsoon has really kind of started, stopped. So to that extent, we do look for an extended summer situation for our fans products and products like air cooler. But when it comes to some of the products which would have otherwise sold in a monsoon condition, that will take some time to take up, which is like water heater, which normally starts selling well in a monsoon condition and in winter condition. So essentially actually we do have a plan to launch about 5 to 6 new products in the month of mainly in October, but there are some minor tweaks and improvement products which we are getting in the consumer appliance products like irons and fans, but no big ticket launch at this point, but around October is clearly a point which we look at bringing up.
Okay, Anant, it's interesting you spoke about extended summer and possibly a better market for fans. Just the last 2-3 days we've been speaking to a lot of air conditioner guys who have lowered their sales numbers for the previous quarter because of early rains and therefore the demand for air conditioners falling. Generally, can you estimate for us how this quarter, the June quarter, was in terms of both rural and urban demand? Was it better than year ago levels?
Yes, in our case, I think the advantage of having almost like essential products, there is really no effect of the market slowdown or increase too much. So to that extent, we have a lot of products which sell throughout the year. So and in fact, rural markets have been the main area where we have seen the growth over urban. And with our new secondary focus, we've actually managed to sell more SKU, that is stock keeping units, than ever before. As a resultant of actually changing that primary focus, changing to secondary focus. So as a resultant of that, we've really not seen any drop in any demand, although we would have loved to see a much larger growth. So that point of view, I think we are pretty much in a good condition. And
I just want to know, I want to know if it is better, because people keep complaining about rural demand.
Yes,
today we heard noises that urban demand is picking up. What's your experience?
In our case, very clearly, rural is where we are seeing the real growth, and the city, as in urbanized areas, are relatively stable condition. They're not growing too much, but the ones which are really growing is clearly our rural markets. The very small town to small town are doing extremely well, actually. So somewhere I think it's not a condition of product, it's about making the product reach to the end customer, and that's one of the big things which we are achieving. And from that standpoint, I think once a person in the rural area actually gets better access to the product, it should not be a problem. And also the fact that there's better electricity available now at the rural level, that's making a big difference in buying products, which earlier could have been definitely an issue. And probably for other higher electricity usage companies, there they might have issue because the load required to run some of these high-end products does require more electricity. In our case, most of our products are a low electricity usage.
Okay.
And so to that extent, a person should not have really a problem on the demand side at all, because there is that need for it for sure. And it's getting fulfilled because that money in the pocket has definitely become better with the various opportunity with the finance ministries also already announced, and I think hopefully should announce soon enough. And clearly we're looking for this GST to come soon enough, which can really make the difference further.
Okay, Mr. Bajaj, has this tie-up with with portals like Amazon and Flipkart helped you in terms of sales?
Well, it has negated some of the ill effects which might have been envisaged by some of our trade partners. And yes, there are some specific strategies we are working on by which we can negate the hard one which sometimes trade people get, because clearly trade, that is your typical mom and pop store, is still 70 to 80% of India. So we can't really afford to not be strong out there. So clearly we are trying a new strategy which hopefully we should able to talk about it soon, that how it is going to be balanced, because clearly there's an opportunity to create specific products which go only through some of the these portals like Amazon and Flipkart, but at the same time we obviously have to look at the trade what they require, because that is still the large part of the business.
Okay, Anant, over half your business, over half your business actually comes from the E&P segment. You all have been mentioning that your legacy projects were not very profitable, but they are now winding down. Can you give us some idea of whether some receivables are still left? Is some more provisioning needed to be made? What's the growth in FY16?
Well, and as far as the provision part, I think there is not much of it for the legacy projects, because most of them are actually shut and now the collections have started coming in. So to that extent, we really don't have much of a thing to worry from the old thing, and frankly the way our projects system has now been updated, we really don't have the word worry about it, because now it's about how much faster can I finish it than my plan, because the way our whole focus has changed from billing to execution has really made the difference in the way of working. And to that extent, we don't see any problem on the new projects, and in fact a lot of our current new projects we are already ahead of you. And to that extent, even the customer is very much happy with us. In fact, our largest customer, PGCL, has just last week, in fact, given us an enhanced order bidding capacity, which is an important part to take part in PGCL tenders.
Sure.
So which in itself is a testimony of the consistency and the way we are able to now take care of the important areas, because I think execution was one area which in the past we had not able to focus correctly on. And now the focus has made the very big difference, that's for sure.
Okay, Mr. Bajaj, what about the lighting business? Because that's clearly been a bit of a pain for the last couple of quarters.
Well, actually, I wouldn't say it's a pain from the standpoint of the lighting business itself. There was a bit of clearly a product mix change where the GLS, that is your typical incandescent bulb, shifted to CFL. That timeline was much longer than from a CFL shifting to an LED. And believe it or not, even in today's day, the largest selling light source is still a GLS. When LED is still only 100 million market, 650 million plus is still GLS, and CFL is about 300 million. So it's not like the market has become overwhelmingly towards us. But it's just that due to CFL being the newer sort of thing at that time, the budgets were planned in that form. It's that little timeline to get the product accepted by the customer base. So one important thing which has changed between the last 2 quarters especially, the government has started more orders for these LED bulbs. Plus there has been a very clear sort of customer ready to actually invest into LED and even try different products in the CFL range. Also there are a lot of products people were not ready to try out before. Now they have also, I think, the money in the pocket which they are ready to spend, which earlier probably was not so simple. And clearly those are the aspects which are making the lighting business very exciting now, in fact. And LED clearly is the epicenter of that growth story, if I would call it, in the coming time.
All right, Anant, we'll leave it at that. That's plenty of detail and direction that you have given us. Thank you very much for joining us. Break on that
Before
note.
that,